All those topics look fine, I'm sure, huh?
Yeah, they'll be good.
Yeah.
Did you have Travis Hunter on? I didn't even look through them really. Did you have
Oh
Travis
yeah,
Hunter
yeah,
on?
yeah. Big. Did you see Big Cat? His hit.
Yeah, that was sick.
I
Big
just
hit.
I just said congrats to him.
Nice.
We're talking, man.
That's good. All right, post. Wake up. Yeah, hang on our audio.
All right, what's up, fellas? Time for Wake Up Mintzy, presented by Dude Wipes. It's Tuesday morning. We're not live in the Barstool office, but damn it, we're fired up. We're in the holiday spirit at the Barstool office. I'm excited to be here as always. And the only way to wake up in the morning, get your mind right, chugging some black Stella Blue coffee. Shout out to Barstool Big Cat, who unbelievable hit Travis Hunter at 5K, 40-1, all-time win for him. 200K when he won the Heisman Trophy. As always, we got Dude Wipes here too. Get the dingle. Dude Wipes has their Christmas edition. Get the dingle bells out. Walmart, Amazon, Target, all over the World Wide Web. Dude Wipes will change your life. One use of it, and you'll never go back to dry, crappy, scratchy toilet paper again. Joined as always by Tyler Moody this morning. We got a fun week of Wake Up Mintzy. We got Barstool Tate on tomorrow talking Ohio State, Tennessee, and then we're going to be joined actually by Taylor McGregor on Thursday. I'm pumped to have her in here. She's going to be on the sideline at Clemson and Texas playoff game for ESPN. But yeah, a lot of stuff to get into. It. Look, I'm just saying, I hope there's joy in y'all's lives because this is the holiday season. You know, I know things are chaotic and hectic, but there's a lot to be happy about. We're all alive. Hope everybody gets to spend time with their friends and family and enjoy it. And speaking of the holiday season, it's feeling super festive in the Barstool office today. Tonight, we've got the Jerry After Dark Christmas Spectacular. The whole office is in on it. It is going to be a hell of a time. There's so much planned. I don't want to spoil too much of it, as I'm known to do, but you're going to want to tune in. That's Jerry After Dark tonight. Cannot wait. At the office, our production team's done a lot of work getting it set up. And I believe you're going to see a lot of costumes, skits, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be an extravaganza. And y'all should join it because Jerry After Dark crushes. This will be the second episode of season 2. Shout out to Jerry. A lot of stuff to get into on the football front. Tyler Moody joining us from Louisiana. We're going to have Moody pop up. Moody, how we doing this morning, bud?
Yo, what's up, brother? My bad, guys. I was lagging behind a little bit this morning. That was on me. Brother, what? He literally just told me that he turned his headset on, too. Yeah, I did the cameras. I checked the mics. I did everything. I thought I was the one lagging this morning. We may have an issue because I think the thing was already on. Can you hear me?
Still can't hear Moody. But
chat. Can y'all hear me out there?
But yeah, it's great. It's a great day. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on today in the Barstool office. As I said, a lot of football to get into. Last night, some stuff I can't even believe. The Bears getting smoked once again, and I'm really surprised by how bad it's gotten year one. What's happening to the Bears? They got smoked last night. Minnesota, got to give a shout out here to Kevin O'Connell. A lot of debate on Coach of the Year in the NFL, and I don't know how you can't give it to him. And, look at the candidates in the NFL. You look at Dan Campbell, obviously, what he's done in Detroit, unbelievable. Only 2 losses. They lost to the Bills, but they're half their team's hurt. And then Sean Payton, 9-5, Denver with Bo Nix. He's got a team that's $80 million over the cap. Jim Harbaugh turning around the Chargers year 1. Mike Tomlin, 10-4 with Russell Wilson. But Kevin O'Connell and the Minnesota Vikings. Let's review this for a second. They were picked to finish last in the NFC North. Before the year going in, everybody was hyped up on Caleb Williams and the Bears. The Vikings were picked to finish dead last in this division. And you look at their offseason, they drafted J.J. McCarthy with the 11th overall pick, the national championship quarterback from Michigan, and they bring in Sam Darnold, who couldn't cut it seeing ghosts for the Jets, couldn't cut it in Carolina, spends a year as a backup under Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy in San Francisco, obviously learned a thing or two. This team, you went into the year, you're like, man, maybe if they, play up to, as good as they can, they go, 8-9, 9-8. They're freaking 12-2. And Sam Darnold, the turnaround he's had, just mind-blowing. I mean, everybody knows Justin Jefferson's one of the best receivers in pro football. That's not news to anyone. And I just can't believe they're 12-2. I mean, we're talking the Vikings are now tied with Detroit at the top of the division. They could get the 1 seed. Detroit does have the head-to-head win over Minnesota right now, but they play one more time in Detroit, and you just got to give them credit. They dominate the Bears last night, 30-12 final score, and it was certainly an ugly game in the first half. Justin Jefferson scored a touchdown, nice Randy Moss tribute. Randy Moss, shout out, he's got to be happy. Moody, how we doing?
Yeah, hey, check your headset and make sure it's plugged in there on the ground to your right. You can't hear me at all? Because chat can hear me.
Chat can hear you, and I can't.
Chat can hear me perfectly fine. You can't.
It's plugged in.
Nothing else has changed on vMix either.
All right, whatever. Let's roll. We just roll. Just leave it on fine. It's fine. But we roll with the punches. Anyway, Moody, I'm talking about Minnesota last night. All right, yeah. Kevin O'Connell. I mean, who thought this Vikings team would be 12-2? This has got to be one of the greatest coaching jobs ever.
Yeah, no, it's been absolutely incredible what they've done. I mean, he probably deserves Coach of the Year. I think he's probably the front runner at this point, and he deserves it. I know everybody's trying to give Dan Quinn tons of credit, and he deserves it as well. And I don't know, but I'm right there with you. This team has had an incredible run this season.
I mean, the Sam Darnold thing, you're talking about a guy that couldn't cut it. Jets, Carolina, they were picked to finish last in the North. They're freaking 12-2. What the hell? Mm-hmm. What the hell? I don't know. It's unbelievable. And Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator, good chance he gets a job, I would think, off this. I mean, I don't know. I just can't believe how good they are. And they've got a shot. You look at the NFC now. You've got Philly 3 losses, Detroit 3 losses, Minnesota 3 losses. Detroit, you got to feel bad for them. You see David Montgomery now out for the year. And then, I mean, just so many defensive injuries. McNeil, their stud D lineman, tore his ACL. They're without guys. I feel like they're going to run out of gas here down the stretch.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. By the way, chat wants you to earn some football talk real quick. They're on your ass.
I wonder. Do you think? I want to know about the chat. Did they like the mechanical bull? Because Nashville. Want to shout out DraftKings for hosting me in Nashville and Dana Beers. Awesome event, Moody. DraftKings Fantasy World Championship. 200 qualifiers. It was $2.5 million to first place. We're proud DK partners here at Barstool. Moody, they freaking rolled it out in Nashville. Got to see O's the Mentalist. Dude, I don't know how that guy isn't like a high-stakes poker player. That dude was reading people's minds. Had an event at the Yeehaw Brewery Friday. Saturday, got to go to the DraftKings Sports and Social bar. Huge reception. Hung out with Larry Fitzgerald. Dude, one of the nicest people I've ever met. Like, you meet athletes, and a lot of times you want them to be genuine people. I meet him, and he's, like, asking me all about Monroe, Louisiana. I was like, man, I don't know anybody that I've ever met that's, like, asking all about Monroe. I couldn't believe it. And he was sharing an interesting story. So his son, Devin, is a junior receiver right now, and he's being recruited by LSU. And Larry and Devin went to the LSU Ole Miss game, which I'm still heartbroken about, but had an awesome time in Baton Rouge. He was asking all about that. He said they've been to Ohio State, but there's another Fitzgerald coming up. But he's done a ton of work. His foundation, he lost his mom to breast cancer in 2003. He's done a ton of work for that. But I couldn't have been more impressed by him. And then I had to ask him one question, Moody. I was like, off the record, how mad were you all about the 2009 Saints-Cardinals playoff game when that was when Bobby McRae, Kurt Warner threw a pick, and McRae hit Warner on a crackback. This was the Saints bounty gate year and knocked Warner out with a concussion. I mean, it was one of the most vicious hits ever, to the point where they changed the rules after interceptions about hitting quarterbacks after. And he said he wouldn't say much, but he said we didn't appreciate that. And
of course, no teammate's going to appreciate their quarterback, one of their main players getting knocked out on a nasty crackback. I mean, that's an all-time nasty hit too, and that was actually one of the hits I think that led to the whole investigation, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was that, and then the Favre NFC Championship game,
Favre one, yep.
Taking a lot of late shots. But yeah, but I asked about that. But first ballot Hall of Famer, awesome dude. And then I tried to ride there. There's footage of me riding I rode the mechanical bull. Moody, this mechanical bull, we got to discuss this.
He beat your ass. I haven't seen the video. I was trying to.
Dude, they beat that dude. This thing, okay. I don't know who was running this thing, but somebody was screwing with me because he had the thing turned up. I thought I was going to make it 7 seconds on it, and I made it on it 2 minutes. But dude, this thing was spinning so fast in circles. When I got knocked off out of it, I was seeing the room was dizzy. My finger was numb till yesterday. I mean, I'm lucky I got out of there alive. I mean, this thing was freaking nuts. And then they made us custom cowboy hats. And then Sunday, the World Championship event, they had it in the JW Marriott ballroom. Man, it was like church for football. I mean, just unbelievable. What a setup and cool event. And shout out DraftKings, man. The DFS World Championship, just a phenomenal event. And appreciate them hosting. Always good to get to Nashville. Nashville's kind of, this may be controversial, but I hate to even say this because I'm an old guy, but Nashville's kind of taken over as the king of the South City, I think. It's just the way it's grown with the economy and its location and the business. I don't know. Nashville's just blown up. Obviously Nola will always be my favorite, but I feel like Nashville's got a better infrastructure than Atlanta and Nola and all these other cities. But
yeah, but I still feel like you can't put Nashville above Austin, though. Personally, I feel like Austin is a better Nashville.
Yeah, I think you're right. I feel like I always think Texas. When I think South, I don't even think Texas. I feel like Texas is its own entity. But now they're in the SEC, and now they're hosting a freaking playoff game on Saturday. 11.5-point favorites over Clemson on that. But awesome event with DraftKings. Shout out to them.
All right, you're trying to talk yourself out.
No, I'll do something
for chat here. They're on your ass. All right, I'm going to give you 3 options here. 1 is try and spin that basketball on your finger for 7 seconds.
Okay.
2 is something I just came up with. You can reenact the bull ride right there in the chair. And then what was the other one? I saw something else on there. I think you should have to reenact the bull ride on the
I don't
chair.
know if I can do that on this chair.
Or 10 jumping jacks. Well, I mean, just, you kind of give us a little
something. All right, let's take you want to give us something. Okay. I don't know how to do the bull ride on this chair. What about it's spinning circles. Okay. All right, we're going to do some jumping jacks.
Just fast. Hold on. What kind of jumping jack is that?
I don't know.
There we go. Still can't see it, though.
I'll do 30 seconds. Not winning yet. We got more to come. Okay. I got to say, Moody, I'm feeling a little weird. Doing this water only thing. It's no joke. But I appreciate your support.
Yeah, talk to Chad about what you're doing right now. If you're at least give us some of that.
All right. So, hand up. We had New Orleans trip for wedding and filming Barstool show. Stu Finer holiday dinner and this Nashville weekend. We had a very poor weigh-in on Monday, and it was freaking not terrible, but just warning signs. And can't do the American thing and wait till New Year's like everybody does, because that is how you gain 15 pounds, and then you spend 6 weeks burning off. So I decided, I've been hearing a lot about it. Like Dana White did it, and one of my good buddies did it, trying a water fast. And so I'm on water and black coffee only. And then I'm allowed to do beef bone broth today and tomorrow if I want. But I'm on it's 3 days. Got through day one. I drank more water yesterday than I've ever had in my entire life. I think I peed like 47 times. But I feel better today. It wasn't too hard to not eat yesterday because I'd eaten so bad in Nashville, and I guess I was like full all day. We'll see how today goes. But, what do you think, Moody? I mean, I've heard worse ideas.
No, it's a good idea. It's one of the best ways to clean out your system. I mean, obviously 3 days, autophagy is something where it kills off bad cells whenever you don't eat for 3 days as well. You kind of go into a fasted state right there. So there's a lot of things that can benefit your blood sugar, obviously detoxification. And I think more than anything, it's the mental aspect of it, right? It's proven to myself, hey, I can go 3 days. I can set a goal. Because food is something that we're all so kind of beholden to every single day that you teach yourself a different way of life. And so I'm proud of you that you made it through 1 day. I think today will be okay, but that third day is really difficult. I've done a 7-day juice fast before, and days like 4, 5, and 6 are where things get really tough. So I got a feeling day 3 is going to be a little bit of a bitch for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, day one wasn't too bad. Like I said, I'm allowed to do beef bone broth only today, and so I'm going to try to not do it as long as I can, but I brought like 2 big things of it to work. And I'm just going to keep pounding water, and I still can drink black coffee, but no creamer. But luckily, we have Stella Blue here. And, yeah, I like it. So far, though, I feel a lot better. I mean, granted, like I said, I felt kind of bad after Nashville, but, whatever. We're, I just don't want to look up New Year's and be like, holy crap. I'm definitely overweight. I'm not saying I'm not, but I don't want to get balloon with that coming. And so, I think it's a positive. We'll report back. I'm sure it's mainly water weight the first day, especially after I'd eaten bad before over the weekend. But dude, I was like 6 pounds lighter this morning than I was yesterday. And so, I figured if I just ate healthy and ate light, I would have lost 3 or 4 anyway. But it's a good start. It's a good start, and I appreciate. Moody's all into the holistic stuff, by the way. It's like, you're into
like what you. To be honest with you, yeah, that's what let's just call it what it is. I'm a bit of a naturalist, a hippie. Yeah, I've done all kinds of things, bro. I try my best to be healthy, but it's difficult. There's so many toxins and things that you run into in this world. It's impossible to avoid. So you have to take extra effort sometimes to detox that stuff out of the body. Yesterday, I went to an infrared sauna. I've been trying to, I have a lot of issues with my gut. It's shit that I've had for a long time. So I had to kind of heal myself from some of that. Cause a lot of times these doctors, bro, they don't really care or can't help. So you got to kind of take your health into your own hands.
Yeah, no doubt. But either way, we're feeling better, and I'm happy. Day 1 day at a time. So we'll see how the day goes. But I feel.
Chat needs you to get on a cycle of steroids.
Steroids. Yes. I thought about getting on creatine because a lot of
really
people
about it
have good results.
Well, creatine's great for you for so many reasons, not just your muscles, but yeah, it helps with your methylation cycle as well. So it's creatine's a good thing in general.
Yeah, well, hey man, we're all just trying to do the best we can. I will say this though, I've made so many mistakes in my life, but old me back in the day would have just blown this off and not looked at the scale and been like, okay, we'll worry about it January 1st. And that's the worst thing you could do because it's then you just binge in your mind during the holidays. And then you look up and it's you can gain 10 or 15 pounds between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So at least we're addressing it now. And I will report back tomorrow and Thursday. Thursday morning will be fun to get the final results of it. And we'll see what happens. All right.
What would it take for you to do a cycle of steroids for Chad?
Man, I can't do that. That's not happening. I can't. I feel like that would be bad for me because I'm trying to lose weight. I'm not trying to get, I don't know. And then my testosterone's probably already not the best, so I don't think I want to mess with that.
Get some TRT going.
I thought, dude, I've got a lot of friends on the TRT, and they have great results. Everybody that's on it says it works, but it ups your cancer risk. I don't know. I'm not ruling it out though. Look, we're all just trying to.
I'll tell you this. I know a lot of fights. So obviously, I work in the fight game, and I know a lot of fighters that have done TRT and other things. And it's so much safer now than it was 20 years ago. We had kids in high school that were shooting up steroids and having legitimate problems. There are a lot cleaner and safer steroids and testosterone replacements that you can do that are not as scary as they used to be. I will say that.
That's good. All right. going back to the football for a couple minutes. All right, we hit.
All right.
All right, Moody, got a theory. The Bears are going to hire Cliff Kingsbury, is my prediction. Obviously, it's a disaster right now with everything with Caleb. I will say, as bad as he's been, he's had good body language. He stands in there and takes hits, and he hadn't complained, and I think that's something to be said for that. But I think Kingsbury coached him as offensive coordinator at USC, has done an awesome job with Jaden Daniels. The Bears got to go offensive coach to try to save him. Could you see this move happening?
I could see this move happening, except for it makes too much sense, so I don't know if the Chicago Bears will do it. That is an organization that has not been able to figure it out since Brian Urlacher left. So I don't have faith that they'll make the right decisions, but I do think in theory it's a great idea for sure.
All right. One thing I want to share quickly, like Moody and Stephen Shea and I do the Fantasy Football Factory pod. Moody, I'm hurting today, man. I called Moody last night. Like, was I even making any sense on the phone last night at 10:30?
You were making sense, but you were fired up, bro, in the worst way possible. It was a brutal beat, and I'll let you tell Chad about it.
Yeah, no one cares about your fantasy team, so I'll make this quick. I'm in my $500 buy-in. Quarterfinal. Just knockdown, drag out. This league's been going 22 years. I've won it like 3 times. And I was down 30 points Sunday going to the fourth quarter of the late games after I was up against Shakir and Hurts. They score. I call my buddy and concede. I'm just like, there's no way I can come back. Jameer Gibbs scores twice. Cortland Sutton scores. I cut it all the way to 4. I have DJ Moore last night against Jacoby Myers. I'm down 4. DJ has like a not great game, but they get a lot of short passes, gets to like 10, 11 points. Jacoby Myers has a bagel, no points till like 6 or 7 minutes left in the fourth. I'm feeling good. Then the Falcons go prevent. He catches 3 passes on a drive with like 3 or 4 minutes left, and all of a sudden it's like a 2-point game. Atlanta gets the ball back. They got a 3rd and 4, Moody, to put the game away. Ray McLeod's open, and a Raiders player like gets his hand up and makes an awesome play on the ball. So I'm like freaking out. Raiders get the ball back. Jacoby catches a pass to cut it to 1. Not happy. Then Myers catches another pass. The Falcons rip it out. Incomplete. Like just crazy swing. Raiders have a 4th and 8. They throw a swing pass to Amir Abdullah, who looks dead to rights, and he somehow like tiptoes down the sideline, gets the first down by half a yard, and then Jacoby Myers catches a pass with 11 seconds left, and I lose by 1 point. It's like $4,000 to first. Just gutted. Just crushed. And I called Moody. I didn't know what to do. I was just like in my apartment, like looking around, asking for answers. As bad as it gets, Moody.
It's a tough beat, especially whenever you have a team that's championship worthy, right? Like if you snuck in and you had a crappy team, it'd be a different story. But you have a legitimate championship team there. But let's talk about the guy that really let you down, Amari Cooper, coming off a 14-target week the week before, and he absolutely ghosted all of us. I had him in my DFS lineup that started out scorching hot, and then I had guys like Amari Cooper not show up in the afternoon slate. Where the hell was Amari Cooper? Why was he not on the field? What the hell was that, man?
I don't know, and it was karmic because I kept Cooper instead of Shakir, and my buddy picked up Shakir, and Shakir had 11 and beat me. So just gutted, but anyway, I know nobody wants to hear about my fantasy bad beats, so we'll move on. All right. Next question: when do the Falcons go to Penix? The Kirk Cousins won last night, but looked bad again. And Raheem Morris called him out in the postgame. Do you think they switch to Penix in the next week or 2, or do they just roll Cousins the rest of the year?
It's just so difficult to unless you're seeing. We're not seeing him in practice, so we don't know what Penix looks like running with the 2s. If they throw him in with the 1s, we don't know what they look like. Maybe somebody in the chat does, but obviously I don't. Like, it's so risky to throw a rookie quarterback in when you do have the playoffs on the line. Kirk Cousins, even though he's not playing great football right now, he's been there, he's done that. Like, I personally think it would be a mistake to go to Penix. I just think that's a lot of pressure to throw into a rookie in big spots. And I do think Cousins, who played good early on, obviously the regression's been there. We know he's capable of leading this team to a playoff berth. So, I don't know. I'm sticking with Kirk Cousins if it's me. But I could understand right now wanting to throw Penix in.
Yeah, I would go to Penix. I think I'd go to Penix. I know, but I know they gave Cousins so much money, and it's like once you go, you can't go back. And they're still in the race, but it certainly seems like the Bucs are the better team. right now. And speaking of that, the Bucks heater, how good are they? I mean, that was the most surprising. Like, it's one thing for them to win at the Chargers, but to score 40 points against one of the top-ranked defenses in the NFL, the Bucks are clearly the best team in the NFC South. I mean, that's very obvious.
Yeah, I think that's obvious too. I still have concerns about Tampa Bay's defense, but that was one of the best efforts they have put together the entire season against the Chargers team that's solid all the way around. I mean, McConkey was healthy for the game, so I thought the Chargers offense was going to light it up. I actually expected Herbert to have a big game against Tampa Bay's defense, and it was quite the opposite. They shut him down for the most part. Obviously, he had a touchdown to Johnston, but great effort from Tampa Bay. And then Mike Evans, the timeless, ageless Mike Evans, maybe going to get to another 1,000-yard season.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a future Hall of Famer, an absolute stud, man. It's been impressive.
9 for 159, 2 touchdowns for him. Also NFL, Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain. How worried are you about him?
He'll probably sit out this week, and then he'll be fine long term. I was listening to one of the doctors talk about it on Sirius XM yesterday. Like he'll be fine long term. They're in a very good spot where they're up 2 games, so like it's for the number 1 seed. So it's not like they're in a bad spot. I think if he was going to get hurt, this last week was the best week for it to happen. So he'll be okay. He's a gamer too. He's not going to miss any big time snaps.
Yeah, my thing with it, I think they need to sit him out and be careful. He never misses games. I mean, he's only missed like a couple in his career. But like you said, they're up 2. And he's getting hit on 36% of dropbacks this year because their left tackle is a revolving door. It's been a disaster. And I think they need to be real careful with him. And he's going to want to play, but I think you got to think long term here, like you said. They're 2 up on the 1 seed, and the high ankle sprains linger. That's not something that's a weekly thing. And if he loses his mobility, I mean, that's such a huge part of his game is extending plays. So I think they got to be careful. Carson Wentz going to turn back time here on Saturday. They have a short week this week. They play the Texans on a short week. So
yeah, aren't they one of the teams that has 3 games in 11 days too?
Yeah,
I think they're
them in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they're one of those teams. Yeah, them in Pittsburgh. So I think they'll be fine. They don't need that. This defense is so good. They can win without Patrick Mahomes right now. I fully believe that. That this defense, one of the best in the NFL, they can win without him. Will they? I don't know, but they can. They're capable.
All right. Switching over to college football. Playoff week is here, Moody. First time ever. 12-team playoffs. We've been waiting on it for my whole life. Starts Friday night, Indiana at Notre Dame. The Barstool show will be at Ohio State, 5 p.m. on Saturday. Tennessee at Ohio State Saturday night. And then Saturday, SMU at Penn State, as well as Clemson at Texas. Which of the 4 games are you most excited about? I feel like it's Tennessee-Ohio State, right?
Yeah, it has to be Tennessee-Ohio State. I mean, it's the 2 marquee programs getting ready to go heads up. And I still think Ohio State should be the favorite to win the national championship. I know everybody's suddenly fading them. They didn't play great down the stretch. They got beat by Michigan. I am not selling any Ohio State stock. I think they're still one of the favorites to win this thing. I think they will beat Tennessee. Tennessee didn't really impress me at times throughout the course of the season, especially offensively when they were supposed to be a great offense. They didn't live up to that hype. I think Ohio State handles business. I think they beat Tennessee. I kind of think they beat them going away, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're a 7.5-point favorite. Over-under's like 47. I lean Ohio State in that game too. Tennessee's got a good running game with Sampson, but I question their passing game. And I just remember 2 years ago, Ohio State got blown out by Michigan, and then they snuck in the playoffs, and everybody was writing them off, and they should have beaten Georgia. They lost 43-42, and I think you're going to see a bounce-back effort like that. Friday night, do you think Indiana has a shot at Notre Dame?
I think they have a shot. Yeah, I think they're obviously one of the Cinderella stories of this season, and I mean, Notre Dame has also shown in the past that they will screw up a big game. So obviously it's new coaching staff and everything from what we've seen in the past. But I still have that in the back of my mind with Notre Dame. So I think Indiana has a chance. I'm not saying they're going to win by any means, but I do think Indiana has a better chance than most people are giving them.
Okay, I kind of like Notre Dame here just because I don't think Indiana can – their offense is struggling against good defenses, and Notre Dame has a really, really good one. Love the Indiana story, though. I think it's awesome for college football.
It's a great story.
And then SMU Penn State, I'm not giving SMU that good of a chance here. Cross-country game, whiteout at Penn State, even though it's a day game, early game. One thing that's interesting, I could see this being a story in the playoffs. Penn State's backup quarterback entering the portal, and he had packages for him this year. SMU's backup quarterback, Preston Stone, entering the portal. I feel like, I hope it doesn't happen, but I feel like if somebody gets hurt and a backup's in the portal during the playoffs, it's going to be a crazy story to not have your backup quarterback. And this college football system, I mean, I understand that people got to do the portal now because you got to enroll for the next semester. But, like, we got to figure out a better way. I mean, you got people leaving before playoff games. That's crazy to me. But I don't know what the solution is, but they got to do something. And, I mean, what if Jennings or Drew Aller gets hurt and the backup gets called on? And then also, speaking of the portal, the Quinn Ewers thing, all right, listen to the situation at Texas right now. So Quinn Ewers, everybody just assumed he was going pro after this year and Arch Manning was going to take over, and that was the plan. Well, Quinn hadn't had the best year. He's been hurt a little bit again. And now they're saying he may come back to college for another year. Texas doesn't even want him next year, and he's going to be playing, trying to get him a national championship. There's rumors Big Ten schools have $4 million offers out for him. And, like, I've watched him play a lot. Texas has a great D, but his release is low. He gets a lot of balls batted. He turns the ball over. He's not really that mobile. He's injury prone. I mean, I see why his NFL draft stock's falling. But, like, what kind of vibe? Like, what's his headspace right now? You're going to the playoffs. You're trying to win a freaking national championship for a school that said they don't want you. What's going on? I mean, how crazy is this?
No, it's insane, but I think that's extra fuel in the fire, right? We're going to find out what Quinn Ewers is made of. Is he one of those people that whenever things are a little bit stacked against him, he folds, or does he rise to the occasion? He has a chance to win a national championship and erase that entire narrative. Like, let's say he balls out these next few games and leads Texas to a national championship. Everything that you just said gets completely erased. And I'm not saying Texas would want to bring him back then, just because we know with a Manning waiting, like, Arch is going to be the future. There's no doubt about it. They're turning to Arch. It's understandable why they would do that. But as far as Ewers' stock and possibly getting paid to go elsewhere if he wants to stay in college football, these next few games are everything for him. He can shut up all of the haters and erase that narrative that you just mentioned.
Well, you know, the only real solution for him is to go back to Ohio State, because he went to Ohio State. He skipped his senior year of high school, did a year at Ohio State, then transferred to Texas. So the only solution is him going back to Ohio State for the end of it, because Will Howard's gone after this year. That would just be a crazy, crazy dynamic. The transfer portal's been freaking crazy. I want to mention a few things. Jackson Arnold, the Oklahoma quarterback, lands at Auburn. It was between Auburn and Mississippi State. Auburn also took a Stanford quarterback, and they got the 5-star freshman Deuce Knight. So after last year when they got criticized for not making moves, they're after it making moves. Some other teams, the portal stuff is wild as always. LSU's making big moves. They got Barrion Brown from Kentucky, stud receiver. But they're active. They're spending money. And with Nussmeier announced that he's coming back, I mean, I think there's a chance LSU makes a big leap next year. I know they got, ended up 8-4 this year, but their coaching staff has improved. And I don't know. I feel like if they go out, spend a D-line, secondary, the big thing with them is they're losing their 2 stud tackles in Emory Jones and Will Campbell. But if they can get that offensive line right, I think Nuss is a Heisman candidate next year. And adding Barry and Brown to Aaron Anderson and those receivers, I feel like it could be something. So, I think there's, there was so much panic on the LSU thing when they lost Bryce Underwood a few weeks ago, but it kind of feels like maybe that's a little overblown. And they also took Michael Van Buren, this Mississippi State freshman quarterback, who could be their quarterback of the future, who showed a lot down the stretch. One other story that I make sure I have to mention on here, Moody. People are saying, not me, is Arkansas the new Ole Miss like AA or AAA affiliate? People are saying. Last year, Poop Hall, number 1 linebacker in the portal, went to Ole Miss from Arkansas, had a huge year. Ole Miss has taken not 1, not 2, 3 guys from Arkansas already in the portal. Stud tight end, stud interior offensive lineman, and a really good DB, Jalen Braxton. And they beat Arkansas 63-31, just left their jocks on the field in early November. I mean, the Arkansas fans can't be liking it. I mean, I've seen all these memes of like Lane carrying the Hogs on Twitter. But, I mean, it's out of control. Ole Miss has just taken all their best players, and it's really, really funny to watch all the –
I don't know how good that is for you, because Arkansas has not been a great team. But I understand. You still away a couple of their best players. Obviously, you feel pretty good about it.
Hell yeah. Loading up. Shout out Ole Miss. Shout out Grove Collective, tearing it up in the portal once again. They're able to – Austin Simmons, the freshman, is going to start next year, and so they don't have to spend huge on a quarterback, and they're loading up everyone else. But I was worried – on the Ole Miss front, that after last year they wouldn't be able to spend as much because they didn't make the playoffs, and clearly that's not the case. Also, funny portal story. TJ Finley from Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Moody, is he the first quarterback to ever go to 5 schools? 5 schools?
He He's been everywhere. He was in the Southland Conference at one point, I
Yeah.
think. Like,
So here's his path.
He's been everywhere.
He was announced yesterday. He's transferring to Tulane. LSU.
Okay.
I remember he started as a true freshman against LSU for LSU. LSU, Auburn, Texas State, Western Kentucky. Now finishing at Tulane. 5. I remember JT Daniels did USC, Georgia, West Virginia, Rice. And that was like the gold standard for like, holy crap, this dude's at a different school every year. TJ Finley going to 5 schools. And I wish him well with Tulane. Obviously, he didn't go very well at Western Kentucky, so I'm not sure he's good enough to be a starter. But, hope it works out. He's a South Louisiana guy, and, love John Summerall in Tulane. So hopefully that works out. But 5 schools, Moody. Freaking crazy.
Yeah, I had a chance to call one of TJ Finley's games whenever he was at Texas State. Talented kid, no doubt about it. I could understand why Tulane would want him. It's just when you bounce around to that many schools, it's just brand new, and I don't know how you get acclimated quickly to a new team like every single year. It's been crazy. So he showed he can be a guy at times, but I don't know. I'm trying to be nice.
I'm on the fence about it. I know what you're saying. I mean, he's tall. He's got a big arm. But, there's a reason he's at 5 schools. It's because it hadn't necessarily worked out.
And there's more to it, by the way. So we won't get into that. But, yeah, he's a guy that I'm a little bit weary of.
All right, bowl game. So, not, obviously everybody's focused on the playoffs. But we got bowl game action every day this week. I'm on DraftKings. And the reason I'm bringing this up, Moody, we got a game I love tonight. Okay. We got Memphis, 10-2 Memphis. Just beat Tulane, playing West Virginia at the Star in Frisco, Texas, on turf. West Virginia fired Neil Brown. Rich Rodriguez coming back to West Virginia, which is an insane story. Crazy. Rich Rod never should have left West Virginia in the first place. Almost got him the national championship. Bombs out at Michigan. Was in Arizona. After he leaves Arizona and kind of I don't know what happened, but it sounded like it ended bad. Works up. He was Ole Miss offensive coordinator for a year under Matt Luke. He was a grad assistant in Hawaii for Todd Graham. He was the UL Monroe offensive coordinator, and then he goes to Jacksonville State when they go to FBS, wins back-to-back CUSA championships, and now he left West Virginia in like 2008. Now 16 years later, the country roads take him home. What a crazy story. And he's a West Virginia alum. Having said that, he ain't coaching tonight, and Neil Brown's out. Memphis is good as hell. 10-2, 4-year starting quarterback. They got athletes everywhere. I think they're going to beat the shit out of West Virginia. This line opened at 2. It's up to 5 now. I took it at 4.5 last night, but I'm on Memphis. The over-under is 58.5. I kind of lean over. Dude, I just think Memphis is going to come out. Like, this is the end of the quarterback who's had a really good career and all this. They're going to come out and beat the crap out of West Virginia, who's in transition. I really like this game tonight. So there's your Wake Up Mintzy play for the chat.
Yeah, and Memphis has played a lot of high-scoring games this season as well. Like they got a good offense, so I kind of lean over there as well.
Yeah, but bowl games going every day this week, but that's the only one tonight. But of course, tune into the Jerry After Dark Christmas Spectacular. Join us, and then maybe you can have the bowl game on in the background because I'm telling y'all, this Christmas Spectacular, the name is spectacular for a reason. This thing is going to be freaking unreal tonight. I can't wait. Can't wait to see it.
Chad had a question earlier that I went over. What are the odds that all 3 teams Saturday night win out?
All 3, like you're talking about?
All 3 road teams. My bad. Road teams. My fault.
Not good. So when you look at the 4 road teams, Indiana, I'm looking at it right here on DraftKings as always, and I'm looking at the Indiana's plus 7.5, so they're plus 230 money line at Notre Dame. SMU's plus 8.5, plus 250 money line. Clemson. The Clemson one I think is interesting, Moody. I actually like Clemson plus 12 a little bit. I think that line's too high. And Texas hadn't been that explosive on offense, and 12's a lot. Mm-hmm. So I kind of think they may be my favorite underdog. But they're plus 340, and Tennessee's plus 235. I'm inclined to agree with you. I lean Ohio State in that game. But I kind of think Clemson plus 340's got a shot. But the odds of all 3 underdog money lines are winning, I'm going to punch it in right now and see, but it's got to be crazy.
Clemson is just one of those teams
it's 50 to 1.
I mean, you might as well throw that in there just in case for a little something. You know?
I don't believe in SMU. I'm just going to say it. I don't think SMU can go to Penn State and win. I mean, you never know, but
their quarterback's fun as hell, though, man. SMU's quarterback, he's a gamer. I'll give him that, but I agree. Penn State probably just a little too talented across the board.
Yeah, I'm leaning. My thoughts right now are the over under. I like under 51. I think the over under Notre Dame Indiana at 51 is crazy too high because Indiana struggled on offense when they played Michigan and Ohio State, real defenses, and Notre Dame's going to run the ball. I think that over under is too high. I'm leaning Penn State at 8.5. Even though that is a lot for Penn State. I don't know. I don't have a strong read there. I'm leaning to Clemson plus 12. I actually think under 52 maybe in Clemson, Texas. That's high, too, for the way Texas has been playing all these low-scoring games. Look at Texas' last few games. 17-7 A&M, 2010 Arkansas. They lost 22-19 in overtime to Georgia in the SEC Championship. I mean, 52 is a lot for the way they're playing football. And then I'm hoping Ohio State will come down to 7. Tennessee's kind of a public underdog. But I kind of agree. Moody, like you, maybe I'm giving Ohio State the benefit of the doubt too much, but I feel the same way about their roster. And I also think a lot of times when you go through adversity, like they went through against Michigan, it gets everybody more fired up. And so I think you may see a big bounce back effort.
And that was a huge rivalry game. I mean, it's just you can kind of throw rivalry games out a little bit whenever you're talking about playing a out-of-conference opponent. This also erase the regular season in some ways, right? This is playoff football now. Things change just a little bit, and it's going to be which team has more talent, which team has the better mindset. And I just think Ohio State's going to be fine. I really do. We'll find out. Maybe they'll slip up and Will Howard will turn the ball over a few times and they'll lose. But I don't know, man. I'm in a spot where I think Ohio State and it still has a chance to win the national championship. Vegas still believes they have a good chance to win the national championship. And I think they get the job done on Saturday. I think they get it done going away. I think of all the first-round games, that will be the blowout, will be Ohio State.
I could see it. I could see them. I don't know about blowout, but I think they could win by like 10-17 and kind of control the game. And then also, like we said, we got bowl games in NFL this week. We got Broncos-Chargers Thursday, and then we got a doubleheader with Texans-Chiefs. And then, dude, we got Steelers-Ravens Saturday. Holy crap. Mm-hmm. So we've got 3 playoff games and 2 NFL games. And
division on the line.
NFL Sunday. So it's a football feast. It's the holiday season. What's not to love? We got Stella Blue. We got Dude Wipes. I mean, we got it all here, but join us for the Jerry After Dark Christmas Spectacular. We got Tate on tomorrow, talking Ohio State, getting ready for the playoffs. Got Taylor on Thursday. Let's have a hell of a week, boys. Check out the Dingle Bell Rock, Dude Wipes. Man, I love fall. The leaves are changing, football, and Stella Blue coffee. And this season, maple pumpkin pie. But my morning routine would not be complete without Dumpkin Spice Dude Wipes.
Oh, Mintzy, let it rip.
Cheers, furry fellas. Coffee that fuels you, wipes that clean you.